Hey, welcome back to Keys and Cafecito. In this episode 2 of my seller series, The Seller Playbook, today we're going to be talking about something that can quietly cost you a deal, and you might not even know that it ever happened. Because sometimes a home doesn't just sit on the market because of price. Sometimes it's because of what's happening or not happening behind the scenes. So today's episode is called The Deal That Never Happened. When your home hits the market, most sellers are watching things like showings, open house traffic, online views, and of course, offers. And if offers aren't coming in, it's really easy to assume that maybe the price is too high, maybe the market is slow. And sometimes that is true, but not always. Because behind the scenes, there's a whole layer of activity that sellers don't see. Other agents reaching out, buyers are asking questions. There are conversations happening before an offer is ever written. And this part matters more than people realize. This is where deals can quietly fall apart. If those questions don't get answered, if those calls aren't returned, if emails sit too long, or worse, if the agent isn't available, or if the agent doesn't even bother to relay the question to the seller for an answer. Because buyers don't wait, they move on. And here's the part that's tough. As the seller, you don't see any of that. You don't see the agent who called and didn't get a response. You don't see the buyer who needed clarification before writing their offer. You don't see the interest that almost turned into an offer. All you see is no offer. And that's where things can get a little bit misleading because it starts to feel like there's no interest, the market's not responding, when in reality, the opportunity might have never even been fully worked. In real estate, yes, timing matters. And something as simple as answering your phone, returning a call the same day or with urgency, or responding clearly to a question can be the difference between a buyer moving forward or moving on to the next home. A strong listing agent isn't just putting your home on the MLS and waiting. They are engaging with other agents, responding quickly, anticipating questions, creating momentum. And most importantly, they're making it easy for buyers to say yes. For me, this is a huge part of how I approach things because I don't just list a home, I actively work it. Because every conversation matters, every question matters, every potential buyer matters. So if your home is on the market and you're not seeing the activity you expected, yes, examine the price. Yes, make sure it's looking good, presenting well, but also ask, what's actually happening behind the scenes? Because sometimes the deal didn't fall apart, it just never got the chance to even happen. That is it for today's episode of the Seller Playbook. Next up, we are talking about pricing because that is where everything starts. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you on the next episode of Keys and Cafecito.